The top stories this week are the men's basketball team starts up their season, the ice hockey team takes on Rowan, and we have a recap from the volleyball game.
We've got all your sports right here. This is the Rider Sports Corner.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Rider Sports Corner. I'm Olivia Hoff.
And I'm Tom Malachi. Let's get right into the show. Barack Obama was elected president this week, causing many at Rider to celebrate. But some people in the sports world are skeptical of his tax plans. Due to Obama's new tax plan, some agents are thinking of ways to beat the increase. Obama will be increasing the top federal income tax rate to 39.6% according to his plan. That means that any bonuses given to athletes after January 1st can be taxed. As a result, some agents are considering signing contracts before January 1st to avoid the increase. Next year's Major League Baseball minimum income is $400,000, which can definitely be taxed under the Obama plan.
The volleyball team took on Marist this past weekend. Rob Haberman has the story.
On Sunday, the Rider volleyball team faced off against Marist in a MAC match. The afternoon started with the team honoring three of its seniors, Lindsey Brandt, Lacey Johnson, and Megan Johnston. Johnston voiced her opinions on being honored by the team.
It was a great honor to be honored today at Senior Day. It's been a very long season, it's been a great season, and this is my first year playing, so it was really fun to be honored.
The match was then underway as the Bronx and the Red Foxes fought in 4 tight sets. The first saw the Bronx edge out a win after a kill by Lindsey Brandt and a block by Brittany Hayes. The second set was even tighter with 7 lead changes and 12 ties. Rider led 24-22 before Marist went on a 4-point run to win the set. The third set saw the Bronx leading 15-13 before Marist went on a 9-2 run. The Bronx wouldn't be able to catch up as the Red Foxes ran away with it. The fourth set was another nail-biter as Rider went up 15-14 before Marist went on a 5-point run. The Bronx were able to get within 2 points at 24-22, but lost after a Marist block sealed the set and match. Johnston after the game.
The game was great today. It was one of my first times really playing, and it was because of senior recognition, and I just had a great time. I think everyone played well. We had a very tough match against them, as we did before, and 2 more games in the season. It's been a great season.
The Bronx have now lost 7 matches in a row. They must travel to Iona on the 15th and play their final home game of the season on the 16th against Loyola. For Rider Sports Corner, this is Rob Haberman.
Like watching the NFL Network? Well, this week, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced that the extension of the network may not come at the expected time due to problems with cable operators. 13 members of the U.S. Senate wrote a letter to Goodell saying that they thought the NFL's interpretation of home markets is too narrow. Currently, the NFL Network broadcasts the games to home cities of competing teams for free. The U.S. Senators argue that the games should be free to everyone, which is a good thing for football fans outside of current market limits.
Rider Female Athlete of the Month Lindsey Johnson of the field hockey team sat down to talk with Patty Wittenberg. Let's find out what she had to say.
Hi, I'm Patty Wittenberg here today with Lindsey Johnson, our Female Athlete of the Month. How are you today, Lindsey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into field hockey?
When I was in middle school, actually, around 4th grade, they only offered during the fall season field hockey for females and soccer for boys. So if you're going to get involved in any sport, it's kind of like if you were a female, you had to do field hockey. So I didn't really know too much about it. I just kind of got tossed into it since I wanted to be with all my friends, of course. But, I just really got into it, really got into the game. I loved the competition, and I just really, really became comfortable with playing field hockey.
And so you played in high school too?
Yes, I did. I was actually a field player up until high school. When freshman year, I was volunteered to be a goalie. So initially, this wasn't my first choice of positions.
Well, you're a great goalie. So you've had how many shutouts this year?
I believe 6.
6? That's a great record. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's your team done this year?
We've done so well. We've definitely gelled together as a unit. I never expected for us to get 6 shutouts because it's really just unheard of. We've done so well defensively. I say we'd have one of the number 1 teams defensively, around. And offensively, we've been doing so well. We have great speed on our team, and midfield is just doing so well too.
How do you feel about being Athlete of the Month?
I didn't expect it would happen, but it's definitely a great honor. But even any individual accomplishment is definitely a team accomplishment. I didn't do this on my own. My defensive team and the offensive midfield definitely helped me out. So any individual accomplishment definitely says a lot for our team.
And you made it to the NEC tournament this year. How did that go?
It went pretty well. You know, it's a 2-game tournament around November, the beginning of. We beat Sacred Heart 2-0 in the semifinals, but unfortunately we lost 3-0 to Lock Haven in the finals.
So what place does that make your team?
In the NEC conference, it makes us second place. We haven't been able to advance on to higher competition or higher conferences, able to get to the nationals, but hopefully next season we'll be able to pull through.
How did you do last season?
Last season we did pretty well. We made it to the finals against Lock Haven once again, but unfortunately, again, we didn't win. But, you know, next year we're hoping to definitely beat them.
So you came in twice to Lock Haven?
Right.
How does that feel as a team? What do you think you can do for next year to make that better?
It's definitely a little bit heartbreaking. It's definitely a sting to come in the second time around, still lose to them. But, you know, they expose our weaknesses. The coaches definitely talk about us 24/7 to see what we can improve upon. You know, we're definitely going to take it to heart, and during the off season and spring season and even the summer prior to the fall season, we're definitely going to work hard and, you know, see what we can do as individual or team units to definitely beat Lock Haven.
And you're a junior, right?
Yes.
When did you start playing as a goalie for Rider?
Actually, this is my first season. I was here my freshman and sophomore year, but Jenny LaCastro was definitely a great goalie. She was goalie of the year, so I didn't really expect to take over, but, you know, this is my first year taking over.
Well, congratulations again,
Thank
Lindsay.
you.
This has been Patty Wittenberg for the Rider Sports Corner.
Tony Romo fans will be happy to know that Romo has returned and will play during the Cowboys' next game against Washington. Romo broke his pinky finger last month on his throwing hand during a game in which the Cowboys lost to Arizona. The Dallas quarterback was originally wearing a full hand cast, but is now only wearing a splint, which he will have to wear during the game on Sunday. With their 5-4 record, it's a good thing Romo is returning. After what has been a rough first half of the year for the Raiders, owner Al Davis has fired another member of his team. This time it's corner D'Angelo Hall. Hall, who only played 8 games worth of his 7-year, $72 million contract, was released, much to the surprise of some of the players. Safety Jabril Wilson said he had never seen one of the star players on a team get cut like that before. The Raiders claimed that they tried to restructure Hall's contract, but when the corner refused, they notified him of the cut. Hall has since been picked up by the Washington Redskins.
After a less than stellar beginning to the season, the Cleveland Browns have decided to switch quarterbacks. Captain Derek Anderson was replaced by Brady Quinn on Thursday Night Football, a decision which has left many wondering if the fans played a role in the actions of coach Romeo Crennel. Crennel replied to those comments saying that his decision was based on Anderson's inconsistent play and lack of results. The Browns lost their game against the Broncos, but Quinn still had a good night, completing 23 of 35 passes for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns.
The Rider ice hockey team went up against Rowan this past weekend. Matt Metzger has the story.
With the season almost at its halfway point, Rider took on last-place Rowan University this past Saturday night. Rowan opened up the scoring early in the game on a goal by Colin Davis. Rider defenseman Steve Baronato would tie the game, but Rowan would score 2 more goals and take a 3-1 lead late in the first. With time winding down, Brian Falks made a saucer pass to send Tom DeRizio on a breakaway, and Merlin Thompson was able to put in the rebound to make it a 3-2 Rowan lead. Rider would get many scoring chances in the second period, but could not capitalize. There was a close call where Rider thought they had scored, but the referees ruled no goal on the play.
We had 1 goal called back in the second that, from my vantage point, looked like it went in the net, but that's part of the game.
Trailing 4-2 going into the third period, Rider needed to take charge early on. However, Rowan's Fred Brewer and Christian Biscardi scored within a minute of each other to put the game away and make the third period a period to forget for Rider.
We just fell apart in the third, you know. They got a quick goal about 30 seconds into the third. And, you know, we tried to bounce back, but they just came on top of us and we just fell apart.
In my opinion, I think it was the early goal by Rowan. They scored with a minute in the game, a minute in the third period, and it took the wind out of our sails. We couldn't get our legs, and unfortunately they kept, you know, hammering on us. And
with this loss, Rider has lost their last 3 league games. I spoke with assistant coach Sean Levin to find out how Rider can turn this tide around and stay competitive in the standings.
It's vital that on Monday at practice we work on the little things, getting to the net, shots on net, rebounds, defensive zone coverage, and our breakout. We got to take what we learned from these 3 match losses and work from there.
For the Rider Sports Corner, this has been Matt Metzger.
Here at Rider, the men's basketball team had their first exhibition game against East Stroudsburg. Olivia Hoff was there to check it out.
The Rider Broncs fought extremely hard against the Warriors of East Stroudsburg and came away with a win. The Bronx came out on top with their leading scorers coming up big when they needed them to. Harris Mansell contributed with 16 points. Matt Griffin gave the team 14 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists. Mike Ringgold had 14 points and 6 boards, and Ryan Thompson came away with 17 points and 7 rebounds. Thompson after the game.
Everything was comfortable. The team was having the ball, popping around, and we were just getting open shots. And everything was just clicking. I was getting open shots, and my teammates were getting me the ball.
Playing in the extremely humid gym did not help the Bronx, who were already shorthanded due to injuries and team rule violations. The players still needed to put their right foot forward in this exhibition match and try to fight through the pains of cramps in their legs.
We were down a couple players, so a lot of guys were playing extra minutes that usually they wouldn't be playing. But we had to push through that, and we had to drink more fluids and get ready for the next one.
The men's next opponent is against St. Joseph's University at the Wachovia Center. The men must be prepared not to turn the ball over as much, finish their shots at the rim, and wrap up rebounds if they plan on beating the Hawks. Ryan Thompson spoke to us after the game about preparing for St. Joe's.
It's a big game. We want to win this game, so we just got to take this whole week. And like I was saying before, we were down a couple players, so we had a lot of groups out there that weren't usually in practice together, playing together, so we were just getting used to it, and we'll just be fine.
This has been Olivia Hoff reporting for the Riders Sports Corner.
The men's next home game is scheduled for Saturday, November 16th. Be sure to go out and support them. Former power forward and Sacramento Kings star Jason Thompson was in Philadelphia this past week when the Kings took on the 76ers. Our own Kelly Dixon had a chance to catch up with him and see how he is doing.
Today, Riders, students, faculty, and friends gathered here in Philadelphia to see a very familiar face of Rider athletics and a fresh new star to the NBA, Mr. Jason Thompson of the Sacramento Kings.
Before the Rider basketball team played in their exhibition game this week, the Bronx had a chance to catch up with one of their old teammates, Jason Thompson. The Sacramento Kings, who drafted Thompson after his graduation from Rider, came to play against an area favorite, the Philadelphia 76ers. Some of the Rider basketball players commented on seeing Rider's favorite alum playing in the NBA.
It's pretty cool, because we were with this guy every day last year, and now he's playing in arenas like this in front of 20,000 people a night. It's kind of different from the 2,000 we used to play in front of, so it's a really cool experience.
It's definitely exciting to see one of our teammates, one of the guys who did everything with us last year. It's definitely exciting to see him at this level.
Ryan Thompson was also present at the game to show his support for his brother.
It's great. To get to come out and support him, especially when he's near home. Especially like the New Jersey teams, the Philly teams, New York teams. I can come see him play.
Jason Thompson comments on what it is like to be picked right out of college.
All the hard work I put in paid off, and to know that I got a degree into it, and then I knew it wasn't going to be easy after, even though I graduated and was getting projected high and stuff like that. I had to work hard in the draft, workouts and stuff like that, and it all pulled through at the end.
Despite all of his success, Jason Thompson is still humble about where he came from.
It's funny because my parents have these journals when I was a young kid, and it was good to see that something that I wanted as a little kid, and I finally got it, so it was a good feeling.
From the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, this has been Kelly Dixon reporting.
Now we turn back home with Rider's own weekly sports recap. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Rider Sports Corner. I'm Olivia Hoff.
And I'm Tom Malachi. Have a great week, Rider.